Hey, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and I'm going to preview for you a bunch of the pandemic projects and what's on my workbench this week in order to set up some of the videos that are going to be done and to kind of just show you what the week in the life of is kind of a thing. So I have a couple of projects that have come in from viewers. I have a couple of projects that have just been on my my workbench for a while. I have a few first responder reels that I'm going to be working on, and I got a bunch of stuff that if I ever get slow, which hasn't been lately, I'm certainly going to jump into. So one of them, I have a flea market vendor that I work with, and every now and then he's purchasing reels from folks that just approaches his selling area, and then if they don't work, they kind of wind up with me. And my agreement with him is to go ahead and try and fix as many of these as I can and get them back to him. And his agreement with me is if they can't be fixed, save them, they're yours for parts. So let's just take a couple of them. One of them I'm actually very interested in. It's the Shakespeare Sea Wonder. It's the model 2080 EJ. I got to look at the code. The E on that I believe is 1950. I don't know where the J is, probably 58, 59. This overall appears to be a nice reel. And the only thing that's wrong with this one that I can tell at the moment in a test is that the trigger mechanism here is stuck. Now, pretty much easily understood on this one. This has got so much junk and dried grease and corrosion on it that I think simply removing this bail, hitting this thing with a spray like a WD-40 or that should loosen this up, and it should be able to trip. So this one will definitely make it to the video, and this one definitely will make it to spot on my shelf. I like these older reels. Here's one of its cousins or brothers. This is the 2062, the purple one. I like this one a lot. So I can see those kind of going side by side on my desk or area or the like. So we'll definitely do this one as a video. We've got, I think this is a South Bend. It's an Ecstasy. It's kind of a 1990s reel. You can always tell the lower end side of the reels, they've got steel screws and over time they rust. But otherwise this one seems to be, well, other than the line junking out all over the place, this one seems to be working. And I'll take it apart, I'll show you what it's made of, and you know, very durable reel. They're entry-level reels, but they last. And certainly if you have a cottage or a shore home or a lake home or something like that, and you have occasional folks coming to fish, then something like this is fine. It's the XTC or Ecstasy 555 by South Bend. One of the things I always say, if you're just picking up a reel for the first time, get rid of the old line. You don't know what it is, but it's subject to breaking, and if that's the case, you don't want to lose a fish because you were trying to save a couple of dollars on the fishing line. So we'll do that one. I think I've already done a couple of videos on this one. This is the Mitchell 324. I know I've done the 200 series. Pretty simple reel. If I have a chance, maybe I'll do another video on this one. But please search my channel. If you have Mitchell, search my channel. You'll see which ones are out there. A lot of these are very much the same. This one, it's got a line wrapped around it again, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's working or not. Seems to turn enough, so we'll probably do one on that. Here's a Rhino. Rhino is in the Zebco family. Another sign of how expensive or inexpensive the reels are. This bump cap here is totally corroded. It says it was probably used in salt water, and the reel itself is turning well, it's turning. All right, well, it sticks on the bottom of the stroke. So we'll find out what that is, why it's sticking on the bottom of the stroke. Probably do a video on that. There's a lot of folks that own these reels out there. Here's a beautiful old reel. This one is an Olympic 2800. This would be a made in Japan reel, circa the 1970s. Working, but very sluggish. We've seen that story before. But other than that, it's working. So let's do a video on that one as well. Here's a Daiwa 7280A. Something's wrong with the main gear on that one. That's going to be a parts reel. Here's a South Bend 550 Black Beauty. This would be a circa 1990. sluggish as all get out. We know the story there. It's dried grease and junk. Again, because of these steel screws, we don't know if those steel screws are stuck in the side plate. We'll do our best to get this off and try and do some work on that and report back to you. Here's another Olympic. It's a Spark 3200. I've already done a Spark. It's the smaller one. I like these Olympic reels. They were well made. Let's see if... So we have an issue with a bail spring on this one. If I can find a bail spring, or if I can find out what that configuration is in that bail spring and substitute one, we'll go ahead and do that. So that's a bunch of the reels that I've got from a vendor. Let's look at some of the stuff that's come in over the time then. So first up and foremost, I got an Okuma here. It's an Okuma Avenger. It's a bait feeder model. I've got two reels in here with the identical problem. The bait feeder is in off mode, but it spins. So where do I have the other one? I have that one on one that Bradley sent in, and it's the same thing. I'm in off mode on the spin fisher, and yet it's acting as if the bait feeder mode was on. If you hold it, you can hear the clicking in here. I've called Penn, and Penn has told me that there is a ratchet down here that's not releasing when you're in bait feeder, off of bait feeder, and you'll see we can go to bait feeder, click it off, but it's still not holding. So in both cases, it's going to be in the rear drag mechanism. We'll probably do the video on this one. I've got to take this one apart and find out what the pieces and parts are that go there that need to be replaced. So stay tuned. You'll see videos on at least the one. You may see one on the other. There's another issue with this one. The anti-reverse isn't holding. This is one of those big old roller clutches, and regardless of whether that switch is on or not. So we'll see if we can take that roller clutch off and show you how to service that if we have time. All right. Many of you know I work with a fishing charter boats, and it's that time of year. Just to give you an appreciation of what it is, here's a box of Penn Jig Masters and couple of Long Beaches in there. Some folks have commented, why do I appear to have this down pretty well and do these projects with ease? Well, there's 25 reels in the box here that are going to get serviced. I won't do videos on any of them. I've done a lot of videos on the Jig Master and the Long Beach series. However, if you have a question on any of those, please leave those in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have on Penn reels and their series. Okay, next up then is a set of, it's a curiosity project that I got. I bought a reel on Amazon because it was a 9-ball bearing reel. It's one of these Chinese ones. It's called Odds Pro, or it's a 3000 series, and it cost $27. It's a very smooth reel. Let's go take this apart and find out about it. I'm always curious. For the $27, we're going to call that one a research project. If and when it is taken apart and reassembled, I'll make sure that it has a good home for somebody to go take fishing. And then the last one then, if I can find it, here we go. I have a bucket of reels from a first responder, a firefighter, and let's just show you what's in that as well. So the first one up, I'll definitely do as a project. This one is the Penn Spin Fisher 5. It's the V7500. I know that I've done a video on the 6500 in terms of problem determination. In this case, we'll do a total rebuild on this one. I've put that offer out there to our first responders that if they don't have time to work or tune up a reel, that I would be delighted to do it as a thank you. And these are some of the reels that have come in. Here is an International 975. I've already done a video on that one as well. We're just going to make sure that it's running fine and tune that one up. I also have a Penn 930 Level-Matic. This one's got a lot of junk and the like, and this one's turning very slow. I think I've done the 940 on this one as a video, so there's a chance that this one will make it to video as well. It's a 930. This one I know will. This one is a Daiwa BG. I've gotten a lot of requests in. I don't own every reel in the world, and I don't sell reels new, so I wait for those reels to show up to be serviced to provide the subject matter for the videos. In this case, this is a very smooth 7-ball bearing Daiwa BG. It's the BG 2500, one of the later series, and we'll certainly take this apart and show you how that one works. Alright, moving along then, we have the Abu Garcia Ambassador. This one is this 5600 AB. Looks like we're missing a clicker, but other than that, a little rough. I've done Ambassador videos. I'll have to check my library, see if I've done one of those in order to do that. But as I'm kind of counting through these, if you see one of these that you would like me to do the video on, and it hasn't been done before, just shoot me a note and I'll be happy to see what we can do. Here's a Pen 160. It's got a brother that's bigger. It's the 155. It's got the wider carriage, and this one's just, there's a skip in here. That usually means broken line or a bent spool. You can't see it here, but I can see line tied off on the handle. It's possible that that line got under here. We'll take that one apart. I've done videos on the Beachmaster series, but again, if you have one and you're interested in it, you want to see it, let me know. Here's a not quite sure what we got. Shimano. We have a Shimano Sienna. It's a small one. It's 1000 FE, and that's interesting. We have the anti-reverse going the other way. I don't know why that's set up. It's not going forward, it only goes backwards. That usually means somebody took it out and installed the anti-reverse bearing backwards, but whatever it is, we'll make sure that gets going properly. And we got a bag case. This is another one of these, which leads me to believe somebody took it apart. We've got some pieces and parts. Oh my gosh, we got the anti-reverse bearing is in 100 pieces. So I don't think that one's going to be able to be put back together. If I can do that, I will, and I will show you. If not, we're just going to have to go order the new anti-reverse. And then this one's kind of a shame. I did see this one earlier. This is a Zebco reel. It's the Zebco C40. It's got a broken bail. It's snapped out of the arm here, and there's no replacement parts. If you go on the Zebco website, it'll tell you they do not support replacement parts. Now we've got line spooling high to low here. You'll see that there's quite a gap down here, and there's no gap in the top of the spool. That usually means that there's a spool shim that's got this one that needs an extra shim because it's staying too low. But that could also be a function that this bail broke and the line was moving it up. I told the owner of this one, no parts are available, you can't find them, but we may be able to just do a bush fix, which would be to crazy glue this into the holder here. And if it holds, you got a reel. If it doesn't hold, well, there we go. All right, so that's the first responder reels. And then a lot of folks are just kind of curious, is this all I do? And the answer is no, I do some other things, but the other things I do are just for personal enjoyment or curiosity, and this will never make it to a video, but somebody dropped this. The line came out, the switch doesn't work, and it stopped performing. And when I have some fun, just because I like the technical challenges of things, I'm going to take this apart and find out if we can't figure out what went wrong with the wiring. Undoubtedly there's a couple of connectors on this switch here that caused that to not contact because the case is open. And if that's the case, we'll just try and put it back together again. But at any rate, that's kind of fun too. So I hope if you are a first responder, thank you. If you have a reel that you haven't been able to work on or repair because the time hasn't been there, then I'm offering a service to you that says I will repair that reel at no charge. So please contact me on the business card that follows. Thank you all for what you're doing. For those of us that are in the middle of this pandemic, and unfortunately it looks like it's taken another rise again, this time in the South and in the West, please stay in, stay safe, wear the masks, do what the authorities are asking us to do, and we will get through this. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to try and post on a daily basis. So if you'd like to see any of the projects that I just kind of previewed for you there, or if you're interested in seeing one in particular, please drop me a comment and subscribe so that you don't miss any of these. So with that, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.